Saram and warm welcome to SPARKLAB, the incubation center from Sri Satyasai Research and Innovation Foundation. And warm welcome to Sai Sudha Nunna. She's the co-chair for the SPARKLAB. Sudha, I can call you Sudha, right? Absolutely, Sudha. Thank you. So for the audience, I just want to do a quick introduction. So Sudha has done a BTech and then went on to do her MBA. She's a gold medalist of the batch of 2014-2016 and proud alumni of the Sri Satyasai Institute of High Learning. She's done her CFA charter, worked in a lot of startups, and she presently heads or co-founds a startup by name SparkNerd, which is smart home automation, IoT-based, voice-based operate appliances at home. And she's also the founder for 99 Italics, which is a content marketing agency. Now, Sudha is a co-chair for the incubation center branded as a SPARKLAB. And we have just a couple of questions for you, Sudha. We'll start off with entrepreneurship demands resilience and risk-taking and dealing with uncertainty. So how does SPARKLAB help students or the founders reconcile this mindset with Bhagawan's teachings of equanimity, surrender, and selfless work?
So when we first hear words like resilience, risk-taking versus surrender and selfless work, it feels like they are opposite words, but they're really not. So they kind of enable one another. If these are the values that if you have these values, the surrender, the mindset of selfless work, it'll automatically, the consequence of these following these certain things, the mindset is resilience. The consequence of selfless work is dealing to be the strength, the courage to deal with uncertainty. Again, so we could probably clarify a few words for someone who is not very familiar with how the Bhagawan's institutions work. So it's surrender doesn't mean passivity. It doesn't mean just sit back, leave everything. It means put your full effort, but don't be so anxious about the result. Don't be so anxious about the applause you might or might not get. So as students, right now, a lot of mentors, trainers, and the core team have been personally trained by Swami, have grown up listening to Swami's discourses. So the students, they learn to celebrate this. They are so resilient. I've not seen any other group of people as resilient, as risk-taking, and someone as bold and courageous and hardworking as someone from someone trained in Swami's institution. So I just think that it is a natural consequence or a product of surrender, selfless work. So, and when we say selfless work and entrepreneurship, it just feels like it's such an oxymoron. But that's not what we really mean. We mean when we say profits, we are saying don't focus on short-term profits. And by focusing on short-term profits, don't miss out on the long-term ones. Now, what are short-term profits? What are long-term ones is very subjective. It depends on different people. The selfless work, I would give you an example of Swami's hospitals, right? We all know lakhs of consultations, 70 lakh consultations. I think over 3 lakh surgeries have been done, but you'll never see a billing counter there. So it's clearly selfless work. But how does the money come in? Money just flows in. When the intent is there, money just flows in. The character is the capital there. Water projects, education, everything, it's all selfless work, but it's of the top standard. It just keeps running like a well oiled machine. So yeah, so I would think these are all byproducts. And SparkLab cohort folks are also aware of what is the profit, the long-term profit that you would get by following these values, by following the 5 human values that Swami has taught us, lived his life based on. So just a natural consequence, nothing.
Absolutely, Sudha. I've actually very, very interested to know what happened in the background before the SPARKLab came into place, because there's a lot of work happening with you being the co-chair and a lot of other leaders, alumni and others. To the run-up before the first day of training, how exactly you managed?
So I would say this is not, though we started this only in the first week of May. It has been in motion for, I would say, a couple of years, on and off. But this is just the, I think, the right time. Everything came together, and we got all the permissions. We were able to put together the best of mentors, best of trainers. You are one of the mentors. You have inspired a lot of founders. You have inspired other mentors and trainers as well. So we were able to put together that, but a lot of background work, of course, happens. Pallav sir was there. He's the chairman, and sir was able to bring all the right people together, bring all the right assets, I would say, to keep this running. A lot of discussions, a lot of iterations, right from who should be the mentor to who should be the participant of the program to what should be the syllabus, and how many hours is, we brought best practices from everyone. We brought so many different kinds of people together. Everyone gave their 2 cents. Everyone contributed the best practices from their area of expertise, and this is like a mix of all that. So I would say this is one of our best initiatives. We have all contributed, like in every other initiative, of course. We did our best.
Absolutely. I think one thing which I was very excited when the head of the SSSI organization in India was talking, where he said, there's an active collaboration between the university and the organization, and it's been happening earlier, but consciously I can actually feel on a scale, for the first time you could actually see very active collaboration. How did that happen?
I think it was always there. So the Sai ecosystem itself is like really large, really sprawling ecosystem. We have students, alumni, we have faculty, teachers, and Sai youth, and even Balvika's children who, they're just growing up right in front of our eyes, and they're becoming global leaders. So there's also overlap. We are all ecosystem, not in different categories. There's an overlap where Sai Youth is again a student and then becomes an alumni. So we've always worked together. We've always collaborated very well and strongly. Anytime there is an initiative, everyone comes together. Everyone brings their best. The intent, the purpose is always completely 100% aligned, and the same happened here as well. So we've requested Sai Youth. We've opened the university for Sai Youth as well, so that they can come and experience the student life. So a lot of Sai Youth have been have applied, and they've got selected, and they're doing really well. They're fine tuning their entire problem statement. They started somewhere, and they're getting to a much refined product, service, and offering. And each summitis, their coordinators have also endorsed them to the program, and they said that this candidate would be, they are worthy of this effort from all of you, mentors and trainers. So yeah.
Absolutely. How can SPARKLab encourage these founders to see untapped opportunities in rural India, where innovation can directly transform lives, Sudha?
So rural has a lot of constraints, and when there are constraints, I think the frugal innovation takes place. So anything from a millet-based snack to low-cost medical equipment, everything. The best of innovations come from the constraints that the rural economy or the rural areas have. But that said, we are not limiting this to any particular group, or say that this is for rural innovation only. Not that.
Right.
So service opportunity to serve is there everywhere. Like for example, we have just incubated startup, and she makes ready-made millet-based food. Now, for a urban young couple or a entrepreneur or a corporate employee, to be able to have nutritious and safe, hygienically, safely made food which doesn't affect the environment in a bad way, which doesn't affect her health in any way, is a rarity. Now, if you grab that opportunity, if you have the skill and convert that into a value, that is also a service. So it doesn't have to be completely rural. But if you someone has a problem, they can pay for it, but they don't know who to pay, how to get that. So filling that gap, providing that opportunity is also service. So I wouldn't say we are limited to any one group, but yes, definitely the constraints create that resilience, that risk taking that we just spoke about.
Absolutely, Sudha. I mean, it makes me think of my mentees. This was just 1.5 months back. Sorry. So Pallav sir calls me when I was going for my morning walk, saying that, Ravi, I want you to be a trainer or mentor. Speak to Pawan.
Mm.
So I said, sir, I'm into podcast and very, very busy. He said, no, you have to be part of it. So
Yeah.
he signed it up. And
Mm.
he actually taught me Discrete Max back in 93, 98. So
Mm.
we have to listen to him. So I spoke with Pawan, and then the journey started. He gave me a list of topics, and everything was technical jargon for me. To an extent I could understand, because I was also a founder. But entrepreneurial mindset was something which I thought I should actually be. And that's how the journey started off. And I had the first few mentees, one from West Bengal, one from Chennai, one from Hyderabad, one from Noida, and very, very different backgrounds. So someone actually was a data scientist. Someone was a student on a second year CSC. One was a dentist, turned into a founder for voice coaching or verbal capability development. So very different backgrounds. And for me, it was an enriching journey. So it was not just I was downloading, which I was anyway doing, but I was also able to learn in a particular process. How was your journey like, Sudha?
So definitely gives us a chance to learn a lot. For me personally, even I also have a very complicated background. I've moved from technology to finance to MBA to entrepreneurship to now into writing. People find it very, very, I don't know what. So it's a complicated identity, but um, yeah, so it is a complicated identity, but what happens is I feel that we can figure anything out. Now, that is what I'm trying to tell my mentees as well. Like, we can figure it out. And because I have this generalist kind of a background, I'm able to answer them in as many areas as possible. And if I don't have the answers, I know whom to approach. Of course, I don't know anything. I don't know very little. An entrepreneur in a different domain needs a lot of hand holding in the early stages, but I know whom to approach. And because of the network that we have, and when say we are doing this from Swami's institution, we are trying to achieve this for these founders. A lot of people will be willing, even though they're very busy with their own lives, like you yourself were. Pallav sir said, we are doing this. It's our institution's initiative, and you just move and you come. So that's what happens. So we don't need to know everything. The founders don't need to know everything. To be a mentor or a trainer or a contributor in any way, I don't need to know everything. I just need to have the attitude that this is what we need to achieve. We'll figure it out in some way. And we'll just approach the right people to get it done.
Pleasure talking to you. Thanks so much for coming on board. And I think I'll pull you in once again, maybe for another segment also.